stream action or rewatch any of the action you might have missed from this tournament for both baseball and softball. We're glad to be a part. Fielder number 6, Jazz Watkins. Batting second, the shortstop, number 14, Madison Lanier. Batting third, the first baseman, number 8, Brooklyn Davidson. Batting cleanup, the center fielder, number 18, Jada Moore. In the circle for the Eagles, batting fifth, the pitcher, Ella Chilton. Batting sixth and playing third base, number 3, Ellen Adair. Batting seventh, the second baseman, number 4, Caitlin Cotton. Batting eighth, the left fielder, number 1, Mackenzie O'Brien. And batting ninth and catching, number 22, Macy Calhoun. And now the starting lineup for the Green Jays of Jackson State. Their head coach, Beth Barcroft. Leading off, the left fielder, number 7, Faith Holt. Batting second and playing center field, number 4, Courtney Lynch. Batting third and playing third, number 11, Ivy Knight. The cleanup hitter, the shortstop, number 12, Jocelyn Lee. Batting fifth and playing first base, number 22, Addison Mogren. Batting sixth, the designated player, number 24, Dita Porterfield. Batting seventh, the second baseman, number 99, Reagan Stewart. Batting eighth and catching, number 25, Madison Solis. Batting ninth, the right fielder, number 10, Keely Williams. And in the circle for the Green Jays, in the flex position, number 14, Sydney Parmenter. Ladies and gentlemen, this time we ask that you please rise. Kindly remove your hats and place your right hand over your heart for the playing of our national anthem.
The following is a presentation of the Game Time Sports Network. From Eddie Campbell Field on the campus of Columbia State Community College in Columbia, Tennessee, it's the 2026 TCCAA Region 7 Softball Tournament. And now, from Eddie Campbell Field in Columbia, Tennessee, it's game time. Yes, indeed, folks. Once again, it is game time with producer Jonas Harmon. Jay Harper back with you. Boy, we have been blessed with such great weather here in Columbia, Tennessee at Eddie Campbell Field thus far. Well, and we won't talk about how the weather looks here later in the week. Hey, we're just going to enjoy what we've got working here today for game one here on the campus of Columbia State.
The top of the first inning for the Eagles.
This softball tournament has been amazing. We've got two amazing teams, amazing coaches, just amazing event happening here. It's the Lady Green Jays of Jackson State up against the Lady Eagles of Dyersburg State. Even though Dyersburg State comes into the tournament the number 4 seed, and the Green Jays the number 6, they flipped the coin to determine who would be home team, and Jackson State, as the number 6 seed, still comes in as the home team here. So with that, Dyersburg State takes the batter's box, and it's Jazz Watkins leading things off. Jazz Watkins leading the team with a .436 batting average. She's got 8 home runs on the year. Swing and a miss. Sydney Parmenter in the circle for the Lady Green Jays that are led by Beth Barcroft. Beth is assisted by Jadelyn Snyder, Gracie Osley, who was a great player that I remember covering here a couple of years ago with the Green Jays. Riley Bearden, also one of the assistants for Coach Barcroft. The Lady Green Jays come into the game 13-17 in the conference, 19-30 overall. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Jazz Watkins, who will be followed by the shortstop, Madison Lanier. Pretty well hit, but drawing a bead on it and making the catch is Keely Williams. 1 away.
Now batting the shortstop, number 14, Madison Lanier.
Madison Lanier, the shortstop for the Lady Eagles. They led by their head coach, Dusty Rhodes. And Dusty's assisted by Emily Gilstrap. The pitch high. The Lady Eagles, they come in with a 22-8 conference record, 32-14 overall. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out to the Lady Eagle shortstop, Madison Lanier. Madison, a cool .387 average, and she has popped 3 over the fence this season. Lifted foul down the left field line. Everybody chasing, but it is out of play. And pulled foul once again. The pitch a bit high from Parmenter. Sydney Parmenter. She a redshirt freshman from Ripley, Tennessee. The 3-2, lifted out to left field. It's gone foul, and it too again out of play. Lanier getting around early on these Parmenter pitches. This is Sydney's third start of the year, her 18th appearance overall. 34 innings of work coming into this game. We'll do the payoff again. It's high. A one-out base runner as Madison Lanier draws the walk.
Now by the first baseman, number 8, Brooklyn Davidson.
Brooklyn Davidson, the batter, the first baseman. Brooklyn, a freshman. Joe's bunt, pulls it back. The runner takes off and gets in there. That's Lanier who rolls into the bag. So apparently Madison Lanier, while she got into the bag in time, a reason for that perhaps is the fact that the umpire's determining she left early. So she is thus being called out, 2 away. The foul ball is caught for the third out. So Davidson fouls out to the third baseman, Ivy Knight. That'll send us now to the bottom of the first inning. Along with Jonas Harmon, our trusty producer, I'm Jay Harper. We'll step aside for a brief moment and come back on the Game Time Sports Network.
As a first-generation college student, estaba un poco nerviosa. I knew I would need extra support, but I didn't know where to find it. At Roan State, I had an access coach to help me with every step along the way. Para más información, visita la página roanstate.edu.
In 1967, West Tennessee's first community college opened its doors. In the decades since, graduates have made a name for themselves as healthcare professionals, community leaders, business owners, veterans, educators, and so much more. With 3 generations of Jackson State graduates leading the way, the future has never looked brighter for West Tennessee. We are your community college. We are Jackson State.
Jay Harper, Game Time Sports Network. This is the first game of 4 here today. Overall, in the entire scheme of things, this is Game 9. We'll have Game 10 that will pit Walter State and Roan State coming up after this one, currently scheduled for 12:30.
for the Green
We
Jays,
were running
left
early
fielder
with the
number
games
7.
yesterday, so who knows? We may be dealing with that again here today. The Lady Green Jays, the designated home team, due to a coin flip, they are stepping up to the plate now as Ella Chilton delivers the first pitch for the Lady Eagles, and it's a ball. It's a strike call. Faith Holt, the batter, the left fielder. She'll be followed by the center fielder, Courtney Knight, and then the third baseman, or Courtney Lynch, rather, then Ivy Knight. And it's a first batter strikeout for Ella Chilton. As Faith Holt goes down on strikes. The center fielder, Courtney Lynch, now the batter. Courtney from Lewisburg, Tennessee. She's a sophomore. Chilton firing him in there. The tall, slender pitcher, also quite dangerous in the batter's box. We'll get to her batter stats here in a little bit. And she ain't a bad fielder either, as that hot shot just bounced right up in her glove and nonchalantly snags it and tosses it over to first base.
Now batting the third baseman, number 11, Ivy
where
Knight.
Davidson collected. First pitch from Ella Chilton missing to Ivy Knight. Ivy from Henderson, Tennessee, this her sophomore season. And a strike from Chilton. Two balls, two strikes on Ivy Knight, the talented infielder for Jackson State. Ivy second on the team in batting average. She grounds out, however, to the third baseman to retire the sides. 3 up, 3 down. We'll move to the top of the second inning.
Nothing doing for the Green Jays in the bottom of the first. We go to the top of the
As
second
we mentioned,
inning.
we've got 4
Eagles
games
coming
to
up
get
back.
to today. The
Still
one
on
following this one, we are in the elimination bracket, as it were, the first 2 games. Dyersburg State, Jackson State, obviously playing now. The next game scheduled for 12:30. That will pit the Lady Senators of Walter State, the number 3 seed in the tournament, against the number 5 seed Roan State. Now, the winner of this game will play the winner of the next game at 5:30 today. At least that's the current schedule at 5:30. we can say it will be the last game today. As to whether at 5:30 start will stand pat, we'll have to see. At 3 o'clock today, though, we're back up to the top bracket, and boy, you knew these two teams would be on a collision course. We've got the number 1 seed, Volunteer State Lady Pioneers, and the number 2 seed, Chattanooga State Lady Tigers, due to go at it at 3 o'clock today on the Game Time Sports Network. Let's get to the cleanup hitter now. In the top of the inning, it's their center fielder, Jada Moore. First pitch swinging, and it's foul. Now Jada will take her walk toward the dugout, stop, and walk back to the batter's box. It's her stay in the zone ritual, I guess you could call it. The 0-1 coming inside as she takes her little walk and then walks back. That stood out last year. She was in the habit of doing that same thing. Pulled foul. All right, let's see. There she goes. Takes a breath, walks back. All right, that's okay. I'm not going to belabor that anymore. I just find that interesting. I mean, so many batters have these little rituals and stuff they do. That one's different. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Moore, and she gets hit by the pitch by Sydney Parmenter.
Now batting the pitcher, number 5, Ella Chilton.
A runner on first, and now it is the pitcher, Ella Chilton. Ella dangerous with the bat as well as in the circle. A .392 batting average. A couple of homers, 35 RBI. The first game in which she pitched here a day or two ago, she knocked in the first 3 runs of the game. Parmenter's pitch just missing inside. Ellen Adair, the third baseman, waiting on deck. Bing! Fouled off one of the netting poles. The 1-1 count coming from Parmenter to the opposing pitcher, Ella Chilton. That's a hot shot, but pulled foul. Ella also plays some first base with her height. I'm sure that's a good position for her, in addition to being in the circle. Dusty Rhodes, the head coach for Dyersburg State, so proud and pleased with his young star. She only a freshman. It stands to reason she's only going to get better. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oh, mercy. And speaking of Dusty Rhodes, he was almost dusted off as he had to duck out of the way of that foul ball. A foul ball, but not by much. Chilton giving around early, as have some other of these Dyersburg State hitters. Been giving around a bit early on Parmenter, pulling it foul. Off the end of the bat, pushed the other way. And the second baseman calling for it as Reagan Stewart hauls it in and dispenses with Chilton for the out. Jada Moore down at second base. She was hit by a pitch to get on. Ellen Adair, the batter. Ella with a 283 average. Looks at a pitch that is outside. One out. Caitlin Cotton, the second baseman. She is taking her practice swings in the on-deck circle. The pitch from Parmenter. Swung on. Is that going to find the grass? No, not with the speedy Courtney Lynch out in center field. As she runs in front of the right fielder, takes charge and takes command of the out to make it 2 away.
Now batting the second baseman, number 4, Caitlin Cotton.
The second baseman, Caitlin Cotton, the sophomore utility player, now the batter for Coach Rhodes. An inside pitch catches the corner for a first pitch strike. Off the hands, that hits the dirt and cannot be fielded by Stewart. And around the bases comes Jada Moore to score the first run of this one. 1-0. Dyersburg State. They're ruling that a hit for Caitlin Cotton.
Now batting the left fielder, number 1, Mackenzie O'Brien.
An infield hit as the second baseman Stewart. Well, that was a tough one. Is just a little blooper that bounced right in front of her. Mackenzie O'Brien, the batter, the left fielder. Here comes the 0-1. Laced foul. That is Caitlin Cotton you see there on your screen in the navy blue on second base, number 4. The pitch high from Parmenter. You can hear the breeze in our crowd mic. Is a little breezy on the cool side. That pitch high and swinging through it is Mackenzie O'Brien. She puts her face in her hands after swinging at that with that, oh my God, I can't believe I swung at that look. She is retired via the strikeout. Let's step away just for a little bit as we grab a swig of water and collect ourselves on the Game Time Sports Network.
Walters State, our story is focused on student success. We're dedicated to creating an environment where our students can thrive, both in and outside of the classroom. So, what do you want to study? Pick a program. We've got over 150 of them. Some are transfer programs that prepare you to transition to a 4-year school after you graduate. We also have regionally and nationally recognized programs that immediately make you career ready. Visit us at ws.edu or give us a call to get started today. Write your story at Walters State.
With producer Jonas Harmon, I'm Jay Harper as we crack that whip here on Eddie Campbell Field. Columbia State Community College is where we are. A special thanks to Athletic Director Katie Willingham. She's such a pleasure to work with. She and her team always do such a fine job of organizing these things. Man, you got a lot of balls in the air trying to take care of these tournaments. You're worried about, the field conditions, the weather, having enough staff to work concession, just a whole host of things that has to be coordinated. And at the same time, as the athletic director of the school, it ain't like everything shuts down just because of this tournament. I mean, she's got other stuff that she has to still tend to. So, again, thanks going out to her and her entire team with the TCCAA as well, Mike Campbell and company. Ella Chilton delivers to the first batter she sees this inning. That would be Jocelyn Lee, the Lady Green Jays shortstop. Jocelyn's a sophomore from Paris, Tennessee, as Chilton delivers 2 quick strikes. She's been hitting that outside corner, tries to go back there, and Lee, Jocelyn Lee, fouling it off. Taking something off, and Lee out in front for the strikeout. One away.
Now batting the first baseman, number 22, Addison Mogren.
We'll get to the first baseman, Addison Mogren. She also pitches. Wouldn't be shocked to see her in the circle at some point, perhaps today. Medina, Tennessee, her hometown, a freshman, offering it the first pitch. That's fouled back behind the Lady Eagle dugout. Addie's hitting .279 on the year. Grounded over to third. And the play is made by Adair, tossing it to Davidson for the second out.
Now batting the designated player, number 24, Dita Porterfield.
The designated player in this game for Jackson State is one Andrea Porterfield. She likes to be called Dita. Chilton's first pitch, high and inside. Reagan Stewart, the second baseman. She on deck. Beautiful day thus far here in Columbia. Expected to get a little warmer than we've seen previously in the tournament. Currently, we're at 71 degrees. Expected to push 80 degrees today. The high should top out around 78. And we do have the wind gusts up to around 20 miles an hour. The wind behaving itself currently. But it is weird. It'll be kind of nice and calm, and then the next thing you know, your papers are blowing everywhere. It just comes out of nowhere. The pitch outside. Two outs, nobody on. We're in the bottom of the second inning with Dita Porterfield at the plate. The first walk issued by Ella Chilton. Now coming to the plate is the second baseman, Reagan Stewart. Wow, there's an echo in here. Two outs with that runner on first. That is Porterfield. There goes the wind. As soon as I mention it. Porterfield has no stolen bases this year. Of course, that doesn't mean that she'll not try one. Knocked foul. The 1-1 pitch coming with 2 outs. Swung on, 1-2. Reagan, a freshman, Waverly, Tennessee, her hometown. Outside the zone to go 2-2 with 2 outs. That will end the inning as Reagan Stewart called out on strikes. Jay Harper, Game Time Sports Network. We will have that keyword of the game here in a little bit, so you stay with us on the Game Time Sports Network.
And 1 left.
I chose Columbia State because it was very convenient, it's close to home.
I get a real sense of community, a sense of family.
I absolutely fell in love with the campus and the faculty and the programs and everything like that, and it was so awesome for me.
Explore your opportunities.
In 1967, West Tennessee's first community college opened its doors. In the decades since, graduates have made a name for themselves as healthcare professionals, community leaders, business owners, veterans, educators, and so much more. With 3 generations of Jackson State graduates leading the way, the future has never looked brighter for West Tennessee. We are your community college. We are Jackson State.
Calhoun.
Back we are as Macy Calhoun will step up to the plate to get us started in the top of the inning. Macy, the catcher. Macy, the number 9 hitter in the order. Jazz Watkins, the leadoff batter, waits on deck. A hot shot right back up the middle to get the Lady Eagles started in the top of the 3rd.
Now batting the right fielder, number 6, Jazz Watkins.
With a runner on and nobody out. The Lady Eagles in fine fashion here, bringing up their leadoff batter. Jazz flied out to right field earlier. Parmenter steps in the circle and delivers. The off-speed pitch catches the corner for a strike. The pitch from Parmenter swung on and fouled to make it 1-2. The shortstop, Madison Lanier, she in the on-deck circle. Then it'll be the first baseman, Brooklyn Davidson. One ball, 2 strikes, nobody out with a runner on. Fouling off another one as Watkins hangs tough. Jazz, the leading hitter, batting average-wise for the Lady Eagles. She also leads the team in home runs with 8, with a .436 batting average.
Singing him a lullaby right now. Just putting him right to sleep.
Some kidding going on with we've got one big cozy snuggling up family up here in the press box. Press box, not real big. It's bigger than some, let me tell you. That is hit well out to right field. It finds the grass for Watkins. And the ball fumbled around out in right field by Keely Williams. That allows both the runners to go an extra base. Macy Calhoun, she makes it to third, and Watkins goes all the way around to second base. Here is Lanier, the shortstop. Anyway, they were kidding our scorekeeper, Richard Murray, who was kind of caught napping. Of course, he wasn't really asleep, just resting his eyes. But fear not, the scorekeeper, he's doing the gig. He's not missing anything. Another bullet, foul ball. As mentioned, so many of these Lady Eagles getting around early on Parmenter. We've seen a lot of foul balls from right-handed hitters get popped down that left field line and making the Dyersburg State dugout have their heads on a swivel. Pushing off the plate. Madison Lanier, she walked earlier. Two runners in scoring position for the Lady Eagles, who are already up by one. The pitch high. Madison Solis, the catcher, had to jump out of her crouch to keep that one from getting past her and more than likely allowing the runner on third, Calhoun, to score. We've loaded up the bases with nobody out on the base on balls to Lanier. That brings up Brooklyn Davidson. Brooklyn, the first baseman, fouled out. Bria Martin, boy, she's been getting a workout in this tournament, and Bria now coming into the circle. Bria Martin now pitching. She has seen, as we said, quite a bit of action, and why not? She is quite effective for Coach Barcroft in the circle.
Number 5, Bria Martin.
This will be Bria's 29th appearance this year. She's got 93 innings of work, a 3.16 ERA. Remember Bria well from last year. Bria, sophomore from Union City, Tennessee. Bria electing to get rid of that face guard. Nope, she was, maybe I think she had a sweatband on that she's dispensed with, and now putting that face guard back on. And, I see a lot of pitchers that don't wear one of those, and you're so close here in softball in that pitcher's circle. We have seen some real comeback rockets in this tournament. And fortunately, just about all of them have been caught or at least knocked down with the glove. So the thought, though, of having no face guard, rather scary. And this rather scary for Lady Green Jays fans as 2 runs come across off of the hit. That makes it 3-0. As Brooklyn Davidson knocks in 2 and advances Madison Lanier to third. Jada Moore, the batter. She was hit by a pitch earlier. First pitch swinging. That's out to left field. 4-0. Dyersburg State. That sets things up for the pitcher, Ella Chilton. Ella quite adept with the bat. One of the leading hitters on the team, in addition to being one of the top pitchers, if not the top pitcher for Coach Dusty Rhodes. Bria misses low and away. Still no one out. As the Lady Eagles, they've got a shot to really bust things open. That slow roller over to Stewart. She tosses it to second base. They get the runner there is Jada Moore. Jada not sliding. And she is called out. Chilton reaching on the fielder's choice with one away.
Now batting the third baseman, number 3, Ellen Adair.
Ellen Adair, the batter. Playing third base. Martin, a long look in. Here it comes. And gets that outside corner. Bria Martin coming in relief of the starting pitcher, Sydney Parmenter. Over to Stewart. She scoops it. And no chance for the double play. A run does score. So putting the ball in play comes out advantageous. It plates the 5th run.
Now batting the second baseman, number 4, Caitlin Cotton.
Ellen Adair able to get a run across by, again, putting the ball in play. Caitlin Cotton takes a poke at the first pitch. Caitlin had an infield single to second base earlier. 2 away. Off the hands, and Martin sprints toward her dugout to make the catch. The Lady Eagles, they push 4 across to go up 5-0 in this elimination bracket game. We've got another game in that quote-unquote elimination bracket. It used to be called the losers bracket, but I always kind of felt lousy calling it that. But Walter State, Roan State, they're the next game. Walters, the number 3 seed, entering the tournament. Roan State, the number 5. It's scheduled to be a 12:30 start here on the Game Time Sports Network. But frankly, the games have been running a little early. At least yesterday, anyway. So who knows? We may find that scenario again today. You know, it all just depends on how things play out. 12:30. No, I didn't jinx it. Hush. But that game again scheduled for 12:30. Then we'll be back up to the quote-unquote winners bracket when we go and really. It's been the collision course for the tournament. I mean, everybody has kind of had their eye on this scenario developing, and here it is. It happens today. The number 1 seed, the number 2 seed, Volunteer State. At last look, not only the number 1 seed here in this tournament, but ranked 18th in the nation in the NJCAA.
For the Green Jays, the catcher.
But Volunteer State, Chattanooga State, that game scheduled to get underway at 3 p.m. Then later on, we'll have the winner of the Walter State-Roan State game, and the winner of this game will face each other for today's nightcap. Ella Chilton remaining in the circle. This is Madison Solis, the catcher. She tries to drop a bunt. It's foul. Head coach Beth Barcroft coaching at third. That is sliced foul down the right field line. One ball, two strikes to the Lady Green Jays catcher. High and outside. Jackson State, the Lady Green Jays in the black jerseys today. The Eagles in the red, white, and blue. It's kind of interesting. The Lady Green Jays in this tournament, I don't think they've worn green yet. They were in blue yesterday. Which, again, made me ponder the question, if they were the Blue Jays, would they have dressed in green? Solis looks at the pitch from Chilton. It's off speed. An umpire, you can see that right arm twitch, but he did not go there. We've got a full count now, 3-2. The payoff from Chilton. Swung on and down on strikes goes the Green Jays catcher.
The right fielder.
That's the fourth strikeout for Chilton.
Number 10, Keely Williams.
The right fielder, Keely Williams, the batter. Keely from Brewston, Tennessee. She's a freshman. Fouled that off her foot.
Who's home team next game? Walters.
The 0-1 count on the Lady Green Jay right fielder, Keely Williams. Keely very versatile in the field. Coach Barcroft will use her at second base and other infield positions, other outfield positions, in addition to what she's playing today, which is right field. Wow, that didn't miss by much. Jada Moore out in center field playing surprisingly deep for Williams. And the line out right to the third baseman, Ellen Adair, for the out. We're back to the top of the order with Faith Holt. A little slap over to third, but there is Adair to take care of business.
That was the left fielder.
3 up, 3 down.
But 3 up and 3 down for the Green Jays.
2 of the outs via the strikeout. Or, pardon me, 1 of the outs via strikeout. 2 are infield snags by the Eagles defense. So I got it right in my little score thing here. Okay. Got that written down. All right. Hey, we've got a keyword of the game to get to. And for those of you not familiar with what that's about, every game we are laying out there a keyword of the game. If you will email this keyword to info@GameTimeSportsNetwork.com, you'll automatically be eligible to win a nice video camera, brand spanking new, along with other Game Time Sports Network stuff. Shirts and cups, and I think we got pens, and see, what else we got? Then we got some koozies, all that kind of tchotchke stuff, okay? But really, the insulated cups are nice. And darn it, the T-shirts are too. But anyway, we've got the keyword of the game to get to. So let's do that. The keyword of the game is bench. Bench, B-E-N-C-H. Bench. That's, from what I'm hearing, that's where Bill Connolly spent a lot of time back in his playing days. Bench. Bench, the keyword. Email that to info@GameTimeSportsNetwork.com, and we'll get you signed up.
Yeah, so
We will get you signed up. And again, you know, the more of these you send in, the greater your chances of grabbing this nice camera. And we'll ship it out to you. It's not like we're going to make you spend the, what? I saw gas. $4.19 a gallon today. Like, you know, for someone like me that, I mean, I travel, well, heck, I mean, we're covering stuff. Just came back from Gulfport, Mississippi. You know, it was like a 7-8 hour drive. I live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. You know, go to South Carolina covering stuff. Anyway, you know, when you're spending $120 to fill it, oh, my God. I know we're all dealing with it, right? At least those of us that have vehicles that run on fossil fuel. Anyway, so the point being, we'll let somebody bring it to you. How about that? We've got some defensive changes that we'll get to here in a moment. At the moment, though, the batter is Mackenzie O'Brien. What am I saying? Yeah, Mackenzie just hit it over to left field. So she has found herself on first base with the single to left. The batter now is Macy Calhoun. Macy, a little swing and bunt. Bria Martin jumping out of the circle and making the play. Runner advances to second, one away.
Now batting the right fielder, number 6, Jazz Watkins.
We're back to the top of the order with Jazz Watkins. She got to second base her last time up. I believe it was really a single, and then the ball got kind of fumbled around out and right. Then Jazz was able to make it all the way to second. But anyway, she now the batter. Runner on second. That's Mackenzie O'Brien. Jada Moore swinging and fouling it back. So we, again, do have some defensive changes for Jackson State. I mentioned earlier how Keely Williams played all over the place. She started the game in right field. Well, yep, she's over at second base now. Porterfield, the DP, she's moved out to right. Reagan Stewart, she was at second. Now she is at first base. Swung on, hit pretty well. Out to the gap, and that is out of here.
The ballpark won't hold that one.
Jazz Watkins comes through with a 2-run homer
Shot off the
over the left field fence. That had Faith Holt drifting back, and then realizing, yep, ain't going to get to that one. That quickly makes it 7-0 Dyersburg State. Jazz was leading the team in homers with 8. Now she leads it with 9. So Bria Martin being comforted by a teammate. Bria apparently rather upset at that turn of events. You know, the finality of these things hits these sophomores. And, you know, I admit there are times when it's hard not to get emotional yourself after some of these games, especially after you've come to follow a lot of these kids for 2 years and you see them eliminated in a tournament. Not, hey, this game's still going on, but obviously Bria Martin not happy with what has just transpired, the sophomore. But you will see a lot of these kids, as I say, you follow them for a couple of years and they get eliminated in a tournament. You see them over here, big tears rolling, and it's like, they put their heart and soul in all this stuff. And then as sophomores, and those of us that are, up in years, we know, right? We remember how that feels. A lot of times young people don't think we remember how that feels. I mean, how many of us had the best friends of our lives in high school, for example? Like in my case, I went to an all-boys Catholic school in New Orleans, Holy Cross. That's where I grew up, New Orleans. Started there in the 6th grade, went there through 12th grade. I was with these guys for years. Best friends I ever made in my life. And graduation day was the last time I've seen a lot of them. It's so abrupt in many ways. And I think when the players, when it kind of hits some of these players, and it hits many of them when these games are over, and it's like, well, gee, no more softball for many of them. This may be the last competitive softball they'll ever play, and maybe it's been something they've been playing since they're 5, 6, 7 years old, and it's so abrupt. And then it hits you.
Now in right field for the Green Jays, number 13, Marilyn Lawson. In the circle, number 22, Addison Mogren.
Bria Martin, she is out of the game as now Addison Mogren comes in. In the pitcher circle, Addison, she was at first base.
Shortstop, number 14, Madison Lanier.
Mary Lane Lawson, she takes her spot out in right field, so there's been quite a bit of juggling in right field here already. Pulled foul by the batter. This is Madison Lanier. There's a ground out to the third baseman, Ivy Knight.
Now batting the first baseman, number 8, Brooklyn Davidson.
The first baseman, Brooklyn Davidson, the batter. The number 3 batter in the order for Dusty Rhodes. Brooklyn with a single earlier. Pretty 72 degrees currently. The 0-2 pitch swung on and hit hard out to left field. That one ain't coming back. It's another blast for the Lady Eagles. Brooklyn Davidson with a solo shot.
Ballpark won't hold that one. Another home run from
It's another blast. That makes it an 8-0 game. Brooklyn Davidson, the solo homer.
Now batting the center fielder, number 18, Jada Moore.
That puts Brooklyn
Miss Cheryl Brock.
at 8 homers
Cheryl Brock.
on the year.
If you would come up to The press box here. I've got something that belongs to you.
Jada Moore, the batter. The off-speed pitch, just missing. Two balls, two strikes to Jada Moore, the center fielder. Solis doing her best to frame that. That looked good, but just off the plate, I suppose. That puts us full now with 3-2. That hit pretty well. That one is also gone. The home run party continuing for the Lady Eagles. Jada Moore with a solo homer, back-to-back jacks by Dyersburg State.
Off the bat of Jada Moore.
Two-out damage.
Now batting the pitcher, number 5, Ella Chilton.
Sadly, Mogren not having much better luck than Bria Martin in the circle, and thus another pitching change coming, as it is Aubrey Hill from Gosnell, Arkansas. She's a freshman. Aubrey Hill, this her 17th appearance of the year, 37 and a third innings of work coming into today with a 4.88 earned run average.
Now in the circle for the Green Jays, number 19, Aubrey Hill.
The Dyersburg State bats really coming alive here in the middle innings. Two cricket numbers thus far in the third and now fourth inning. Ella Chilton, the batter, also the pitcher for the Lady Eagles. It's a first pitch strike from the pitcher, Aubrey Hill. Chilton just as dangerous with the bat as she is in the pitcher's circle. Fooled on that pitch as she swings under it to quickly go 0-2 with two outs. Nobody on base because Jada Moore just cleared him. And, well, there wasn't anybody on base when she hit her home run because the previous batter, she cleared the bases with a home run. 9-0, Dyersburg State. Dyersburg, the number 4 seed. Jackson State, the number 6. Fouled away. Solidly hit, but foul by about 15 feet. Ella to be followed by Ellen Adair, the third baseman. Ella, she reached her last time up on a fielder's choice. Hit over to third where Ivy Knight snags it. Tosses it to Reagan Stewart at first, and the inning finally coming to a close. But again, the bats exploding for the Lady Eagles. They score 4 in the third and now 4 in the fourth. The bottom of the fourth on the way on the Game Time Sports Network.
And nobody left on.
As a first-generation college student, estaba un poco nerviosa. I knew I would need extra support, but I didn't know where to find it. At Roan State, I have a success coach to help me with every step along the way. Para más información, visita la página roanstate.edu.
In 1967, West Tennessee's first community college opened its doors. In the decades since, graduates have made a name for themselves as healthcare professionals, community leaders, business owners, veterans, educators, and so much more. With 3 generations of Jackson State graduates leading the way, the future has never looked brighter for West Tennessee. We are your community college. We are Jackson State.
Back we are. Game Time Sports Network. As you can see, Dyersburg State having a good day thus far. Jackson State, unfortunately, not so much. We're already going to have a pitching change as Ella Chilton giving a breather. The new pitcher is Ellen Adair.
Now in the circle for the Eagles, number 3, Ellen Adair.
Ella Chilton, she moves over to first base. Adair was playing third. So we have a new third baseman since Adair was playing third. The new third baseman is Kinley Melton for the Lady Eagles. Swung on by Courtney Lynch, and grabbing it is the second baseman, Caitlin Cotton.
Now batting the third baseman, number 11, Ivy Knight.
Ivy Knight. She, the batter, the third baseman for Jackson State. First pitch strike from Ellen Adair. Ellen, a freshman in the circle this year. She has pitched 37 innings. This will be her 12th appearance thus far. Ivy Knight facing Ellen Adair in the circle now, and a check swing is foul. Ella Chilton, she started in the circle and doing a fine job. She's moved over to first base. As Melton, now the third baseman. Kinley Melton, a freshman. That is called a fair ball. Scurrying around first and headed to second is Ivy Knight with a one-out double.
Now batting the shortstop, number 12, Jocelyn Lee.
28 is in for 4, and she's at third base. Jesus. Everybody else just kind of moved around. Yeah.
There's a strike. The 0-1 count with one out and a runner on second. Slow roller over to second. And it is fired by Brooklyn Davidson, who was at first. Now she's at second. She throws it over to Chilton, who was the pitcher. She's at first. So you got all that? Not sure we do. 2 outs. Ooh, a rocket foul ball. Aubrey Hill, the batter, she came in to pitch.
Now batting the pitcher, number 19, Aubrey Hill.
Runner on third with the 0-1 count and 2 outs. Hill looks at an outside pitch from Ellen Adair. Aubrey hasn't had many chances to bat. This is only her 4th at bat all year. Again, she primarily a relief pitcher that comes in and, a flex player will hit for her. So she doesn't see many opportunities to face the opposing pitcher. The 2-1. The foul makes it a 2-2 count. Jackson State a chance to reduce the deficit by 1 with the runner on third. Nice play by Melton as she fires the strike after fielding the grounder over to Chilton for the out.
For the Green Jays in the bottom of the 4th, no runs on 1 hit.
We'll go ahead and check out for just a little bit as we invite you to check out one of the fine promotional announcements from one of the fine institutions that comprise the TCCAA.
State is amazing. Here you'll get a top-notch education with professors who inspire, and with Tennessee Promise or Reconnect, it can be very affordable. Ball State offers small class sizes, 4 convenient locations, and we are big on experiences. Whether you thrive in the lab, the studio, the field, the classroom, or just enjoy hanging around campus, join the family. Go to ballstate.edu to get started.
At Walters State, our story is focused on student success. We're dedicated to creating an environment where our students can thrive, both in and outside of the classroom. So, what do you want to study? Pick a program. We've got over 150 of them. Some are transfer programs that prepare you to transition to a 4-year school after you graduate. We also have regionally and nationally recognized programs that immediately make you career ready. Visit us at ws.edu or give us a call to get started today. Write your story at Walters State.
Jay Harper along with producer Jonas Harmon on a lovely day in Columbia, Tennessee. Weather-wise, it's a lovely day. Not too lovely for Jackson State fans thus far. Ellen Adair, who came into the pitcher circle, leads off this inning for Dyersburg State.
The pitcher, Ellen Adair.
Ellen has flied out and reached on a fielder's choice, and she just reached on a single. It finds the grass out in right center.
Now batting the third baseman, number 28, Kinley Melton.
Kinley Melton, the batter now, as she came in place of Caitlin Cotton in the batting order. Melton at third. Defensively, first pitch strike from the pitcher, Hill. Slow roller to Williams. Can't make the DP, so it is wise just to hang on to the ball rather than risk an errant throw to first. The fielder's choice eliminates the lead runner. 1 away. A line shot, doubled off. Mackenzie O'Brien. She hits a laser shot over to first base where Reagan Stewart hauls it in, then steps on the bag to double off the runner. A very short inning. Now it will be up to Jackson State to try to put some runs on the board to eliminate being run ruled here, as they are down by 9. We'll take a quick break. This is the Game Time Sports Network.
In 1967, West Tennessee's first community college opened its doors. In the decades since, graduates have made a name for themselves as healthcare professionals, community leaders, business owners, veterans, educators, and so much more. With 3 generations of Jackson State graduates leading the way, the future has never looked brighter for West Tennessee. We are your community college. We are Jackson State.
As a first-generation college student, estaba un poco nerviosa. I knew I would need extra support, but I didn't know where to find it. At Roane State, I have a success coach to help me with every step along the way. Para más información, visita la página roanstate.edu.
Play resuming. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning.
The right fielder, number 13, Marilyn Lawson.
Adair delivers to the Jackson State right fielder, Mary Lane Lawson. Popped up foul, but nobody can quite get to that as it ricochets off the netting. A 1-1 count. Over to Milton. Fires to Chilton. 1 away. The batter is now the first baseman, Reagan Stewart. She started out the game at second, but now with all of the defensive realignments from Coach Barcroft, she now manning the first base bag defensively. Swinging above that first pitch. Madison Solis, the catcher. She, the on-deck batter. That a fair ball as it finds the inside of the baseline. Reagan Stewart keeping the hope alive for Jackson State as she doubles down the left field line. Dusty Rhodes not quite sure that was fair, but it certainly appeared to be so. I believe the umpires got that right.
Now batting the catcher, number 25, Madison Solis.
You could call it because he's right there on the line, for God's sake. But it's ultimately the home plate can make that call.
Madison Solis, 2-0 count on the Lady Green Jays catcher. That foul, as that just skipped past the bag, just made a quick left-hand turn. That was headed to fair territory, but, oh gosh, about 2 feet before the third base bag, it made a quick left turn to go foul. Another foul dribbler. Swung on and fouled the other way as Madison Solis staying tough, full count. Beth Barcroft beside herself. Can't believe the third strike call. And she felt that pitch was high. But it is the second out
Number 10, Keely Williams.
via the strikeout. Keely Williams, who was out in right field, she's at second base last time I looked. She the batter. Ellen Adair taking care of business thus far as the relief pitcher for Ella Chilton, who's now at first with those cool shades. She's definitely in need of those, as the sun really affecting those on the right side of the field. Williams led off with a 1-0 count. Off the hands, and it is squeezed. So the Lady Green Jays,
That's the final score of the game.
they are done for the tournament, double elimination, and this their second loss. Therefore, the Lady Eagles of Dyersburg State, by winning this game, they are scheduled to now be in the nightcap, which currently is scheduled for 5:30 this afternoon, late this afternoon, early this evening. Who will they play? We'll find that out here in a couple of hours, as Walter State and Roan State preparing to duke it out for the next game. I'm guessing we'll get an early start on that one. It's scheduled to be a 12:30 start, but good grief, that's an hour and roughly 10 minutes from now. So it wouldn't shock me if we had perhaps a 12:15 start or so. So just stick around. Game Time Sports Network's where you can find all this stuff. We'll keep the streams streaming. We hope. We cross our fingers for a healthy internet today. Knock on wood. Hopefully I didn't just jinx that. But anyway, we appreciate you being here. Again, the Lady Eagles of Dyersburg State, they live to fight another day after defeating Jackson State 9-0.